We're speaking to businesswoman and social activist Kezel Jackson. Pleasant good evening to you, Ms. Jackson.
Good evening to you and good evening to your listeners. So I just want to add a new handle to it.
Go ahead.
I'm political leader of the All People's Party,
And that's APP?
APP.
Right, let's talk about that. When is the official launch?
The official launch will be on the 11th of June.
All right. Now you have weighed in on many matters. I mean, crime, you do a lot of community work, what have you. What really got you to confirm at this point in time to go headstrong into the political arena?
It is needed. You know, I have a theory, that a mantra that I live by. It is better to try and fail than fail to try. And if it is the will of the people, I tell you, it is also the will of God. So we have to persevere. I tell your listeners now, it is a David and Goliath fight. Because the two political parties, they are but the same side of a coin.
Well,
it's just one coin. It's just one coin. One coin.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter, who is in government now? I mean, let's look at it for what it really is. I mean, all that is being done, all that is being spoken about as far as mismanagement, abuse of funds, all these allegations, all of it can only be laid at the doorstep of the government that is currently occupying office at this time, which is the People's National Movement. When you talk about the same, and you hear this being bandied about by many people, that they're the same of the same coin, expand on that.
All right, so let me correct you there for one moment. When you say the government comprises both of the ruling party and the opposition. So when you say government, you're speaking about the both, not one. So, you know, literally in our colloquial term, we say government and refer to the ruling party, but it is the ruling party and the opposition.
All right.
We have an opposition that the same allegations that was laid against the ruling party was also laid against the opposition party. So it's no secret in Trinidad that the politicians are misguided. There's a total disconnect between the politician and the people on the ground.
All right, and in that equation, we can't, of course, simply omit the people themselves because, the people are really and truly the ones that the government is supposed to be working for and not the other way around. Taking that in consideration, as a new political party and a new political leader, what should one expect from the people themselves?
If you are shopping in a supermarket and you only have two choices, that means you can either pick from either or. But if you increase your choices, that means that you increase the customer options, then you can say, okay, we can choose from 3, we can choose from 5. You increase your purchasing power and the avenue of potential that you can acquire. So now with new parties coming forward, it shows a level of dissatisfaction. It shows that also that the people are disenchanted. There's a level of disillusionment. There's a disconnect and a marginalization that is taking place between the government and the people. The people can only choose based on the choices that are available to them. So to a certain extent, the psychographics of Trinidad and Tobago is one that was sculpted and carved based on the duality of partisan politics. So it's a change in dynamics right now.
And when you talk about this dynamic, because the reason I'm taking you down this road is because we've heard this time and time again, new politics, new process, new method, something that we've never seen before, but yet still it still ends up being that the status quo remains intact and the people who are pulling the strings are never there. You have an administration currently, and I understand what you're saying with the opposition, that is a government in waiting, so that is part and parcel of everything. But you have an administration now where people have recused themselves from cabinet record number of times, not in the interest apparently of the people, but themselves, their friends, their family, and of course their financiers who seem to benefit. Have we gotten to the point?
All the F, but they don't add you.
Yeah, that's true. They don't add us. It's never in our interest. And taking all of that into consideration, have we reached that point of social maturity where the people themselves understand what they need to be demanding from an administration?
that also has to be learned. Remember, learned behavior has to also be unlearned, and then it has to be learned now. Because to be very fair, we are still a young country. Trinidad and Tobago only gained its independence in the 1960s, so we are still in the embryonic stage of politics. The new parties that are coming forward, you know, sometimes you plant a seed and you say nothing is happening. But beneath the surface of the soil, that seed is germinating. Germination sometimes is not visible or fast enough for the human eyes to see, but the growth is taking place. Let's apply that to the politics. The growth is taking place because more and more people are coming forward and saying, okay, we are presenting another option. Whether the option is good or bad, I'm not saying that, but they are presenting options to the populace, which is a good start. It is a good start. Now, the APP, the All People's Party, to which I'm political leader of, what is so different from what everyone has already said and done? I have been, before the politics, I have been a social activist, a humanitarian and philanthropist on the ground with the poor people because I am a product of poor. So I see myself as one of them that escape very narrowly the strangles of poverty. What really takes place, I can understand and relate to. It didn't take me a government or a position to be able to assert myself to want to help people. So it wasn't just a desire. The desire gave birth to an action. So action and intention was coupled together, and I started doing the work. The people know me for doing. I don't talk, I do. In the government right now, there's only complaining about one party complaining about the other. It's just totally soap opera politics, yeah? Without focusing on the real issues. The issues that we have is issue of employment. First of all, I should start the issue of safety and security.
All right. We
have a safety issue in Trinidad and Tobago where our crime rate is escalating to such a rate that it is alarming. It is heinous. It is disadvantageous to the general public who are law-abiding citizens. And it's also disadvantageous to us because it removes a potential income, that is tourism. Now we have another problem, unemployment. We have idleness. We have where the education system has failed the general poor person. We have no strategy, no way of moving forward with a new vision. So it just regurgitated politics all over again. We have the potential, as I tell people, I love Trinidad and Tobago. I love my country. Imagine we started first, and now who is first is almost last. Most of these islands, they are generating more foreign currency than we are. We have a foreign currency problem in Trinidad and Tobago, where business people are insulted that they can probably only get $250, $230 US per travel. And I'm not talking about even per day, but per travel. So we are crippled because now investment growth is like it cannot be had. Why is that? When I told them you have the Federal Reserve Bank in America, that they can freeze our money at a particular rate now and they can get it. It's not that they don't know what to do, it's that they don't have the will or the desire to do what is necessary because it benefits some. Every calamity is an opportunity for some. So to have Trinidad in the way it is right now is also advantageous to some. Now, who are the some? The some is the S that you talk about, friends, family, finances. Those are the S that we are speaking about who are advantaged by our disadvantage.
All right. Let me ask you, at all political party, would you be contesting all 41 seats?
That I can tell you at a later date. It's too early for me to say such. Okay. I'm still massaging and realistically analyzing the social dynamics as well of the political climate.
All right. And again, you know, you're saying it's going to be an entirely new process. And I've said it before, we've heard this before, but you spoke about crime as far as security. You spoke about the fact of the economy when you mentioned about foreign exchange. What else stands out that you believe, let's say in your first 100 days, if given the opportunity, what would be some of the things that you would tackle to show us that those low-hanging fruits that have been there can actually benefit the people of Trinidad and Tobago?
I can tell you one of them very immediately. I was talking to a friend of mine about the traffic congestion in Trinidad and Tobago. It's very difficult. It is time consuming between the high traffic hours. So that is from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. and in the evening, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. A destination that can take you 45 minutes can take you sometimes 4 to 5 hours within the traffic. Now, the disadvantage of traffic costs us. Let us examine the opportunity cost. It costs us. Holistically, if you look at statistics, it says that above 10,000 vehicles passing within an hour, there's need for a rail system. We can have a train system. We had the train system that they got rid of in the 1960s. 1970s, they were exploring it. In 2014, they explored the idea again. In 2016, they further explored where they had an estimation as to what it will take, what it will really cost us. The cost at that time was 10 billion. To do the Kirab overpass cost us 7 billion. But to have, to bring back the train could move thousands of persons faster. And what is the benefit of that? One, we have to look at the global environment and climate change. Our carbon emission is extremely high. It will reduce carbon emission if we do such. Two, time and productivity would increase because now the family life would improve. There's many fathers and mothers leaving home early, wee hours in the morning just to reach supporters paying to sometimes some of these government offices. Leaving children, some of them in the dark and coming back home in the dark. What type of family life is that? Then the government have all these public offices within areas that are heavily populated. Does that make sense? Can we now move some of these public offices that people are coming in for services? Yes, we can, because there are limited parking within the capital, and there's a high demand for such services, causing more congestion. What else can we do? We can also widen our roads. Our road has space for widening. Why aren't they doing that? So there are certain things that we can immediately look at to improve not only the standard of life, but the quality of life for every citizen.
And Ms. Jackson, I agree with you. I mean, I think traffic congestion is something that we really need to look at. We waste too many man hours on the highways and byways, and then at 2:30, all these schools come out. Then you have congestion at all of these places, especially on the east-west corridor, which simply does not make sense. And I agree with you. And I'm sure that there are a lot of things that you would touch on. But the reality here is none of these things can come about unless you are in office, unless you're
Correct.
there to implement policy, unless you're
Correct.
there to make sure that it benefits the citizens of this country. Now,
Correct.
Kamala Prasad has made it quite clear. That's one of it's a two-horse race. And everybody would tell you that. All right? Now, she has made it quite clear. Come in, bring your ideas, be a part of it. On the other side, we haven't heard that from the sitting government. Have you taken that in consideration, perhaps joining with your ideas and saying, listen, I think it's best that we form something based on terms and conditions that we can all agree with to make this better for the people of this country?
Let me ask you a question. And I know you'll give me a very clear answer.
I'll try my best. Go ahead.
If I were to give you a glass of water, 8 ounces of water, and I were to put just 1 drop of poison, just 1 drop of poison in that water, would you drink it?
I would not.
I say no more. I thank you for having me on your program, my dear.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
do
Ms.
look
Jackson.
forward for more from the All People's Party.
Yes.
My manifesto will be available to the public very soon. When I put out the manifesto, I will welcome another interview.
Yes, indeed. Best of luck to you and your entire team, and keep up the good work. We look forward to hearing about all the ideas and everything about app and see where it fits in. Again, best of luck to you and your entire team. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much.